Alright, what's going on everyone? So this video you're going to be seeing a full session of me live trading with my Discord members, and by the end of this video you will absolutely be able to ferret out what a low quality reversal looks like versus what a real reversal looks like. But as we get onto the charts here, okay, you're going to see this very sharp decline. Now this was right at 9:30, so we opened right at 9:30 and a huge surge down. Okay, this is one of the largest 9:30 openings I've seen in, I'd say, a month, about a month. Okay, you know, there is a lot of signatures here that suggest bearishness. Okay, however, with it being right at 9:30, just plummeting down, like, it doesn't particularly suit model 1, 2, or 3. So when we look at the hourly chart, okay, you're going to see that we're gunning towards all-time high. We were able to sweep this internal high, but leaving the long-term high intact. Okay, so long-term high should always be left intact if we're bearish. We come up, sweep buy side liquidity. And actually, before we sweep buy side liquidity, notice what we do. We come up, make this high, come up again, match it, trade away. Okay, you guys know the story. We've seen this over and over and over again. And then we ramp up. Take these highs here. Okay, buy side liquidity ran, engineered buy side liquidity. And then we have this surge up in price here. This here is key because once we rise up here, this is that final order block being formed before we begin the actual sell-off. So whenever it rises up here, right, makes this failure swing. And number one, why should this be a failure swing here? Because this high took buy side liquidity. So if this thing is bearish, it'll hold this intact as that intermittent term high. So once we have 9:30, this is our first clue of this sell program really getting kicked into play here. Now, even if we were to not catch shorts here today, which, it's definitely a potential. We just need, a reasonable retracement and then some type of run on a short-term high, right? If we get that, we can absolutely be shorting today, down into this low and potentially down here. But where it stands now, understand that this is a very likely Tuesday high of the week. So what does that mean? We're probably going to be shorting tomorrow and Thursday and Friday. Now, non-farm payroll, anything can happen, and it could act as a TGIF. We'll see how extended we get to the downside within the next 3 days here, okay? But where it stands now, okay, we have a lot of good things going here. Monday, that's a different story. No trades were taken. But anyway, as I was saying, Monday kind of served as that manipulation, right? To set the high of the week. We come up, buy side liquidity ran, and then 9:30 just absolutely slams down, disregarding all opposing arrays in the form of this Fairway gap, this down candle, and now we're into this wick. Now, do I want us to stop here? Absolutely not. Okay, with how strong this is, I want to see it get down below this low and these lows down here. So when we go down to the 15-minute chart, right, for us to reasonably be a part of this, first of all, notice how we completely disregarded the new week opening gap as well. But anyway, whenever I see this, right, I need to see some type of retracement into the 15-minute Fairway gap. Okay, if it's going to be the highest probability, that's going to be it trading up in a new week opening gap, respecting that, and then we'll see some type of run on a short-term high, and then we'd engage lower. But where it stands now, it's just a very strong 9:30 opening. Look what we did right at 9:30. What do? Rally right up. Here's a 1 minute Fairway gap, okay, and then it plummets lower. Okay, really no short-term retracement yet. Now we go to NASDAQ. Okay, it's literally the same thing. So what I see here is, like I told you guys, I see a lot of specific signatures suggesting bearishness prior to this drop down. And what I'm seeing is we have this midnight opening. Okay, extend that out. Look what happens. We slam up. Why is this a protected high? Why do I not care about this? Because like I told you, this is what created the buy side liquidity run on ES. Notice it didn't do that here on NASDAQ, right? So we run up here, nowhere near this high. What's that? That's a SMT divergence. Within the larger SMT divergence we already had up here, right? So when we come up here, we fail to get to this high. We're creating an intermittent term high, failure swing above midnight opening. That's why that's key, because it's rallying above midnight opening. We create this 1 hour order block. We shift below that. There's your change of state delivery after bearish market structure set in play. And then we have this large drop down, okay? Can you be a part of a move like this? You could, right? But it's just a little bit harder to be, get engaged with right up here, because it's like one stop. You're either a part of it, you're not. We don't care who's no one's jumping on this train after that. So this is when you just need to wait and understand like excitement is rather high right now, and just wait and relax. I know it's hard to watch this and like try to not be a part of it, but you just have to, because when it comes down to it, it's only 9:47 a.m. There's plenty of opportunity to come. So uh, we shall wait. But anyway, we come up. What is this? This is a 3 drives pattern above midnight opening. So we drop down, trade below the sell side of the quarterly here. That's doing what? Inducing short sellers into the marketplace. So that's like the breakout. That's the perfect counterparty taking willing sellers at a lower price to then slam this thing above. And what are we doing? Drive up once, twice, 3 times. That's a 3 drives pattern up into this high. So buy stops are continuously being taken on a short-term basis. It really doesn't need to take out this high because of that. And then we have displacement. All right. Then we go on to the 5-minute chart. Okay, started to make these a little bit suspect highs here. Okay, so it comes up, matches it again, and then it drops down. 5-minute for VGAP, and off to the races lower right at 9:30. So going to ES, pretty much the same thing, okay, except for we didn't have the 3 drives pattern. We kind of engineered these highs in here. We dropped down. That's induction of shorts. So it's kind of like the sucker play, right? When we're consolidating, drops down below the Asia lows. Okay, that's the very, very classic phenomenon, by the way. And then we slam up above the highs that they placed in here. And the rest is, you can see on the chart. Oh, wait a minute. So I guess there was a bomb. Ariel says there was a bomb dropped in Iran. Honestly, I didn't hear about that. I'm probably going to see about that once I close up stream here. But back onto the charts here. You guys already know the deal here. Like, this was the first short-term high placed in. It very well could just keep, delving lower. The stuff you guys are saying in the chat very well could be a good reasoning as to why the 9:30 opening was so aggressive this morning, which, like I said, we haven't particularly seen a 9:30 opening drop this much or just have this much volatility at this magnitude in some time. So 9:30 opens, and from the opening we create this high right up to 5,809 on ES. So we get the whole way down to this old new week opening gap, and you can do the math there. That's about 50 handles on ES. But anyway, as I was going to say, this first short-term high placed in, I would definitely like to see that be traded above for buy-side liquidity. But, I mean, given how, weak we are, I definitely certainly would not be forcing that idea. But, this just repeats more times than I can think. So, we'll definitely be looking at that. But, anyway, 15-minute time frame. Okay, we're obviously extended well beyond sell-side liquidity here. So this is previous daily low ran. We're like really just ripping through a new week opening gap here. And if we go to the higher time frame again. Okay, these are these lows that, getting ready to engage. Now, like I said, I don't view like us dropping down and sweeping all these sell stops down here as some type of reversal point. I would like to see this serve as a catalyst to really get this thing rolling lower. Like I said, the quarterly shift. Now, the quarterly shift does not mean, we're just everything's going to go to hell and we're just going to sell off like crazy. That just means it's going to set the stage for us to be in tune with the daily time frame. And it just so happens this will be a bearish sentiment. So, once we do engage all the sell stops down here, so let me actually go ahead and map it out. Then from there, we're obviously going to study what price does from there. So like what kind of signatures are happening? Like are we rejecting off of that low? How quickly are we rejecting off of that low? Those type of things, okay? So when we go to ES, okay, we're not yet engaged with previous daily low yet. I would like to see us drop down below there like NASDAQ did, but we just kind of have to wait on that. So, and I believe previous daily low potentially, yeah, very, very close proximity to this low here. So this would be Tuesday, September 4th low. So this would be an old daily sell-side liquidity low here. So I like all this mess in here being cleaned out. Like I was telling you guys, I'd like to see this thing really continue lower towards this swing low here for a gap. And once we drop down here, then I really have to study and go off of what price is telling me. But for now, where it stands right now, I expect every single daily candle to be black or just bearish until we reach this volume imbalance and for a gap here. So same goes for NASDAQ. Yeah, crazy stuff going around the world. So I would like to know, as we're watching the trail buy side liquidity here, could this be a bit like, I already know what some of you think, this may be a potential for some type of short-term model Model 3 to take place. Yes, you are correct. Okay, but with how aggressive we've been, it's a little bit out of characteristic when I'm looking for Model 3, but it is definitely a potential, and we're gonna watch out for it. Okay, and this would just be on a short-term scalping basis. Absolutely, given how bearish I am on the daily chart, right? I wouldn't be trying to get some type of like really deep run with Model 3 here today. And if any of you you guys keep hearing me mention Model 3 and I haven't actually released yet, that's actually releasing today after stream, so that wouldn't be a worry anymore. So I want you guys to know it's actually very, very important. Okay, if you actually take this stuff serious and you take the group serious and you want to make money with us, it's very, very important to realize what I actually have going underway here, and that is me releasing all 3 models, and we're all going to be looking for the same exact thing every single day. So that's differentiating us from those who just get on stream, they're just playing a guessing game, right? We're getting on stream and looking for something very, very specific every single day. Okay, and these 3 models, in my opinion, are the most precise. And if we utilize them and you guys actually watch the videos, you're going to see it repeat over and over again. That's if you haven't seen it repeat over and over and over again already, okay, which most of you have. All right, so we just kind of blew out this short-term low here. We shifted above, touched these down candles here. I want to see if this can act as a springboard in direction of buy-side liquidity, okay? And that'd be short-term buy-side liquidity resting up here. So volatility index is a little bit heightened here. So from this order block here, 6, 7, this one here would be about 14 handles. Okay, it doesn't look like much when we're looking at it here. It looks like a very small price fluctuation, but this is actually 14 handles from here to here. All right, so what I want you guys to do is I want you to watch this 5-minute fair value gap. Now, I only would be able to engage with Model 3 if we're able to disregard this 5-minute fair value gap, because this very well could just be reaccumulation at this fair value gap to then send it lower. So I'm not trying to pick a bottom whenever this extended to the downside, but I'm understanding we have trail buy stops above here and there's large fair value gap left behind, and this would be the first one from 930. So we very well could draw into that. Also note that we traded down to an old new week opening gap, failed to get to this low, and NASDAQ obviously did. Now, I do not expect this S&T to hold true for very long. Okay, I would expect this to actually, obviously later on spike down below it. So there's definitely potential to, trade both sides of the range here today should things act correctly, okay? So see how we rejected that 5-minute gap instantly. That's why I need to see it get through. I told you guys that. So here's 10 a.m. It looks like we may have had a medium impact driver there. So if that's true, I wasn't aware of that. So let me see what's going on with that. All right, and there we go. We just traded right through the 5-minute fair value gap. Okay, now we're going to see if it can have a sustained body above. All right, and then from there, we're going to be looking for 930 original time-based gap. Okay. So kind of map out this high here. And we'll all know that this is just the very low end of the 930 fair value gap. So when we're looking at it, I don't want to see a stop. So if we spike above the buy side here, I don't want to see it stop here. I want to see it get above this blue line that I have annotated here. Okay, and it looks like we did have some type of news driver in price at 10 a.m. And I actually was aware of that. It just slipped my mind. So yeah. But anyway, you're gonna probably see this not be, like just kind of this back and forth 1-minute candle. The reason why it wasn't so volatile, very, very simply put, it's just because we had a very volatile 930. So whenever we have that, okay, a lot of times you'll see like the whatever news driver we have in price just kind of be more so of a dud, right? So notice how we just spiked in close proximity to the trail buy side liquidity here and traded away, okay? Even though there's a bit elevated risk at the moment, so we'd at least wait like 5 minutes to let this kind of settle down, right? I would expect us to eventually trade up into here as, understanding this is engineered buy side liquidity. So honestly, if we can drop down here one more time below the lows, maybe even spike previous daily low down here, and then gun for these engineered highs, that would actually be just like a picture perfect scenario. But anyway, we had Jolt's job opening, okay? Like I said, very volatile 930 opening, so you'd expect this to be more so of a dud. So we traded up, matched the trail, buy side liquidity, and then we're trading away, right? And this is exactly, not only did we have the 10 a.m. news driver, which I kind of went to the back of my mind, just kind of focusing on the volatility we had at 9:30. You would think this was the 10 a.m. news driver, right? Nope. But anyway, like I said, I absolutely need to see it get to this first 5 minute for Vega gap, okay? Because this very well could just be a short term retracement to then go down below another short term low. I'm not trying to be the guy that picks the bottoms, but if we were to create a swing though in a 5 minute time frame and then have a convincing body above, right? Not a wick. I don't care about this wick, but a convincing body above this opposing 5 minute gap, then I can reasonably look to trade up into the very low end of the original 930 gap, okay? But we didn't get that, right? So I didn't push any buttons as a result. See how that works? Same thing for NASDAQ. We roll right up into the 5 minute gap. Where's the body at? At the very low. So I want you guys to keep in mind, even though I'm looking for some type of short-term scalping model, like once we trade above here, all this is going to do is heighten the probabilities for me to then short on a continuation down into, remember this black line I had here, this sell side liquidity here. So Tuesday, September 24th, sell side liquidity right here. Okay, so once we trade up into here, I'm not expecting this to be some type of big reversal up into these highs here. Okay, if it does, I'm just simply, I'm not gonna get covered up there because I'm not aiming up here. I'm short on the daily time frame. And if we look at it, we roll up into this 5 minute gap and we're rolling down. I would very much so like to see us drop down below this short-term low, specifically on ES, and it would be even better to see it fail on NASDAQ, okay? Now, right now, guys, so I actually am trading on, so I have my, I think you guys can see it down here. Yeah, right here. So I'm trading on my side funded account right now, and I'm in one of those kind of weird scenarios where, like I'm about 1,100 in profit on the side account here. I started this one a couple weeks ago, but anyway, I'm eligible for a payout, right? I'm sure. I just want you guys to know, once you reach these moments, okay, if you've already had payouts before, just keep it rolling. Do not request a payout yet, okay? So in my scenario, I have 5+ days of profiting 200 plus, right, on Top Step, and it's 1,100. So you'd be eligible to request a payout. I would advise you not to do so, okay? I would advise you to keep running it up, but don't increase your leverage, okay? Keep the leverage low, keep the consistency there, and I know it's hard, okay? I know you just want to get that money right in your hands, but my advice would be keep it going, because if you request a payout, then it's just going to be very, very easy to, obviously blow the account, right? Because then once you take the payout, you get very, very close to that trail drawdown that they have, which is kind of like it's pretty much their tactic to kind of get you out after you get a payout anyway, or if you get close to it. But prop firms are prop firms, but you got to play the game right. But starting to form an intermittent high on this 5 minute Ferrari gap. Now, actually, I'm pretty interested. Dre, good morning, brother. I'm interested to see what Dow has done. Let me see here. All right, so Dow actually is moving in tandem, so there we go. Now, as for Dow, it's honestly just the same thing. Like we had that cracking correlation, so Dow and ES went up into all-time highs. Nasdaq has not done so. That would be the start of a quarterly shift. Same exact thing for Dow. I'm expecting every single down candle to be bearish until we reach this swing low at the very minimum. Okay, so this right here, like I'm excited. Like I know I keep stressing you guys, but I'm excited. Like this is good. We're gonna be this is great. Okay, we're heading into good times. It's going to be good. We're going to end this year off strong, okay? You just need to stick with me, be on there for the ride, and just understand, leave all the baggage that you had from behind, leave all that shit, just throw it in the trash, and just understand that there's an enormous opportunity coming forward, okay? So, you can use this for good, or you can simply keep doing whatever you were doing before. But listen, leave all that baggage you have behind. I don't care how your year went, good, bad, mediocre. Leave all that shit behind. Focus in and dial in for the remainder of the year and just end it off strong. Not only are you going to make yourself some money at the end of the year, but you're also going to set the stage for positive momentum going into 2025. Okay? Now, here is previous daily low. I want to see us get a tick below that. at the very minimum. And then I want to see if we can start reverting to trail buy side liquidity here. Okay. So like I said, like we're initially speculating Model 2. Or sorry, not Model 2, Model 3. However, with how heavy we are, why would I sit here and try to force that without it really proving itself? Okay, especially when we haven't taken previous daily low yet, which we just did now, by the way. So we took previous daily low, and here's that September 24th sell side liquidity low that I would like to see us pierce below. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of times, yes, we would look at this as some type of Model 2 scenario. But as we're sharply rising down, I'm not trying to catch that falling knife and slice my hand open, right? I'm letting it drop, hit the floor, bang away, bounce up off the floor, and show me it's done, okay, right? You know what I mean? Like, if it's not there, it's not there, guys, okay? So, I mean, same thing for yesterday. Like, I didn't take any trades. Power hour obviously had some volatility, but it's still nothing that I'm, really, just confident in, because I pretty much closed charts around, I think, the later portion of 2 p.m. and then the volatility didn't really kick into the last 20 minutes of trading. So, but anyway, Monday did its due diligence. Okay, what I'm trying to say is Monday absolutely was a key factor in the price action we see here today. So it sets the stage for manipulation. All right, taking the buy side liquidity, setting the SMT divergence for the week. So this is a very high probability classic Tuesday high of the week. So Wednesday, what do we expect? Wednesday, we expect that classic Wednesday retracement and continuation to the downside. So we're expecting price to open, trade above the opening, slam lower. Okay. Thursday, what are we expecting? Well, we're going to proceed with caution because it's the day prior to non-farm payroll, but we're still expecting open, trade above the opening, slam lower. Same stuff. Friday, what are we expecting? Well, it's non-farm payroll, so that's yet to be seen. Okay. So I'm never trying to predict that 8:30 opening. Okay. So 8:50 a.m. Will that classic 8:50 a.m. Model 3 perform? That's the question. We're going to find out on Friday, okay? But that pays out very, very nicely every single 8:30 high impact news driver, okay? But anyway, really just dumping lower here. Like I said, I would have, if all right, so let's give you a scenario right now. Let's say that we with this 10 news driver, we were able to really spike up there, just tap into the 9:30 high, and then we quickly rejected away from that, and then we retrace up into the order block. I absolutely would be shorting that. Absolutely. But I'm looking at this and I'm understanding it matches this high and then trades away. Is there any type of entry model in here? No. Okay, so you just let it keep dropping. You let it keep dropping. You let that knife keep falling until it hits the floor and leaves that dent in the floor, which would be the signatures and price that you find. And then you look to engage. Okay. Like I said, I know this is one of the difficult moments. Okay, it's not difficult for me because I sat through this shit countless times. I missed countless moves. I missed countless opportunities, but I've also been a part of enormous opportunity. Okay, and that's why I am how I am today. I don't care about this type of stuff. You know what I mean? So when I'm looking at price, it's moving very, very it's moving a lot, right? So right when we open at 9:30, all it's done is traded lower, and this is a lot of handles for ES, right? 811. The whole way down here. We're about 60 handles deep on ES. That is a lot for ES. Okay. The question is, with how aggressive we're getting here, are we going to get down below this entire consolidation sell side liquidity here? So this is like a little trend line phenomenon going on here. We already took out these lows here, and we're getting very aggressive, not showing any signs of slowing down. And we're in close proximity down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this line here. Okay, we're able to pierce that, and I'm going to put it down here. So the continuous run to the downside continues, right? Notice that NASDAQ, so NASDAQ is obviously showing, it's obviously the front runner here. It's showing the relative weakness. Why? Why is it doing this? Similar to what we were trying to frame Monday, which did not take place because it was just, very low probability. Why is NASDAQ the front runner? Well, did NASDAQ take out this buy side liquidity pool from Friday here? No. Did ES do that? Yes, it did. So by default, you're going to see Nasdaq be the front runner. No, although it's not by much. This is why you're seeing the relative strength take place on Nasdaq, because it created the failure swing within the SMT. Another form of S&P divergence is the fact that we failed to get above this 15-minute candle's high right here, up into this 15-minute Fairway gap. That's that relative weakness showing itself. Now, when we go to ES, you can see that it dips up into that right there. So, price trading into a specific Fairway gap, and the other one failing to do so. That's another form of S&P divergence because on the basis of this 15-minute high right here. Okay, see how that works? Now, back to the hourly chart. Like I said, getting very, very extended down here, right? Um, when it comes down to it, we've really been calling out these lows like as soon as they're replacing, we're like, okay, well, it's it's only a matter of when it's going to take place. But we had to let market structure set itself, right? We came up, created this very convincing high in the form of the Thursday high. We ran up, trade. So like basically, even though they didn't take out those who were trying to pick tops early, like they usually do, they're definitely scaring them a little bit, right? Because you get this surge up, right? They're probably sweating a little bit here, and then it slams down. Trades back up, very aggressive. Like, oh shit, dude, maybe I should close my position. Trades off, trades up. Buy side the quarterly ran, and then when we create this change to the state of delivery, this is very, very specific and textbook. Now that we cemented long-term high and a minute-term high, once we create this last order block, and then we create the change to the state of delivery, there you go. There's your Tuesday high of the week. Okay, you don't need anything else. There you go. Are you going to be able to engage with it? That suits your model. I mean, it depends. Do are you risky? Is your appetite allowing you to short right before the 9:30 opening, even though it may spike above these highs first, right? It all depends on what you're willing to risk, okay? But you guys already know model 1, 2, and 3. Do I mention anything about trading right at 9:30 opening? No, I don't, right? It's honestly, most of them rely heavily on the macros, okay? Not that you need macros, it's not required, but a lot of times model 1, 2, and 3 do perform very, very nicely coupled with a macro. But anyway, guys, what can you expect going forward? Well, I honestly think that you can expect a lot more accuracy in terms of daily bias on every day given out the whole way through fall. I'd say about until the last week of November. Once we start getting up to election, or I guess election is November 5th, but basically the second week of November, where it's going to be very, very easy to capitalize with the daily chart and the weekly, right? Um, with that, obviously, I think that we're going to be catching some rather larger moves. Not that we don't catch large moves in the first place, but I think we're going to see that be a more frequent phenomenon take place in the streams here, just given what the type of environment we're within. So, kind of like I guess similar to what we saw July and August, which typically I don't expect this much volatility in July and August, but it happened and we adapted to it and it was very, very nice. Okay, and whenever we saw us drop below here, take sell stops. Okay, it was very easily to capitalize and be able to analyze and predict this as a turning point. But anyway, as for current price and us making money on this as of right now, well, that's we just have to wait. It's only 10:16 a.m. If we have to come back for the PM session, which by the way, today we are keeping this rolling. Okay, we're keeping this rolling to the lunch session, and I'll take about a 30-minute break. Drink some water, whatever, and then we're gonna keep this rolling into the PM session. Okay, so I'm with you guys until I don't want to say power hour, but that's a potential. But I'll just say 3 p.m. Okay. Cedar, I know, brother. I know. Especially when I'm on the charts alone. I'm in this type of price action. I've been there countless times. Okay. It's either I sit on the sidelines, accept it, right, and preserve my money, or I just get in impulsively and then lose money, right? But um, I rest my case as the sideline. So yeah, it could definitely spike down here, or it can just leave this intact, and then obviously gun against those who have been making money to the downside, which would be preferred. Like I said, really, if I'm gonna do anything, I really do need a retracement to the upside, right? Yeah, I mean, Cedar. Honestly, if that's honestly, if what can I say here? So, if your biggest issue, that gap in between, you know, your potential unprofitability or your profitability, the gap in between that's not closing that, right? If that is the struggles with sitting on the sidelines, the best advice I can give you is just simply schedule your time in the marketplace. So what time in the market would you most be wanting to sit and focus in on? So, for example, and what most people go with is, okay, I'm just going to come into the charts every single day, 10 to 11 a.m. I don't care what happens outside of 10 to 11 a.m., but I'm just going to come into the charts 10 to 11 a.m. every single day. And if something performs in there, I'm going to be making my money. And if not, I'm just going to, leave, close my laptop. But that's the best advice I can give someone that, is in that type of predicament. So, obviously, that's never been, particularly an issue of mine. So I can sit here hours on end and just watch this thing, but yeah. So like the like if that's your issue, the more chart time that you're gonna have, likely gonna be like more harm, right? Because just a lot. Like I can't like countless fake setups perform throughout the day, and you guys see me really just before the fact, really just kind of cancel them out and filter them out. But yeah, honestly that's the best thing I can tell you. Like you can do whatever you want, but just schedule your time in the marketplace. Maybe if that's 2 hours a day, 3 hours per day, whatever you can do. But so we're just continually making. So right out of the gate, 9:30 up, we trade up, create that first short term high. We come up, lower high, come up, lower high, come up, lower high. This isn't gonna stay true for long. Okay, guys, we're gonna see it kind of offset this. Is it going to wait until the 1050 macro? I mean, that definitely is a potential, right? But, I just don't know yet. I have to wait. Beautiful run, though, honestly. So I guess you guys gave me some clarity on why we'd be seeing the U.S. market open be this wild, right? There's a good amount of stuff going on. Like, let's be real. A lot of stuff's going on around the world. It's not the best scenario at all. You know, it's sad to see, but that's the world we living in. I hope it can be corrected. All I can do is sit here and do my part as a good citizen, do my due diligence. But when it comes down to it, I'm just a guy that trades for a living, and that's it. I don't particularly have any type of power, right? I just simply, like I said, I'm a guy with a laptop, and that's what I do for a living, right? I'm not sitting here with Lambos, millions in cash, some crazy home. Like I showed you guys my house tour. Like it was really like yes, I bought a house. It sounds great, right? But it's not anything fancy, right? It's just a small, humble house, and it's my first one ever. So, I definitely live more so on the humble side, which is why, you know, I'm able to like literally no sweat on anything because I'm not spending frugally, right? I'm very very calculated and calm with how I spend my money, right? And basically why I'm saying this is just because like you don't need to be into trading to be some type of rich celebrity, right? Just get into it. If you started out as a modest life, right? I'm only 21 years old. I'll be 22 in a month. Who's to tell what I'll be when I'm 30, right? But for now, I'm living how I'm living. I'm happy, and that's it. All right. Am I happy with everything that's going on around the world? No. But within my personal life, yes, I'm very, very humble out in the country. And I do what I love, and I wake up every single morning and do it every single day, and that's all I can ask for. And that's it. Okay. And what I'm trying to transfer to you guys is, at the very minimum, be able to, carve out that side income for yourself and really just be able to kind of take that extra stress off your back. So, if I can do that at the very minimum, that to me is success, and I'll be the happiest person alive. Okay, that's why I run this group, and that's it. But anyway, looking at the charts here, we have ourselves a market structure shift. Is this going to be the catalyst for the highs up here? Potentially. Okay, I don't care about the market structure shift. What I care about is that we ran down below new week opening gap, and we were able to sweep all the sell side down here. So here in this daily low here and here. So all internal sell stops been ran from the marketplace. Now we're having massive displacement to the upside. That is what I like initially. And okay, NASDAQ was able to sweep that September 4th low, or September 24th low right here. Trade to about midpoint of that wick. Now, the kicker here is, can we get a sustained run through this 5-minute fair value gap? Like I said, I'm going to say it again. I need to see us get through this. I do not I'm not going to be buying right here. Okay, it needs to show me more than that. I do like the displacement here initially, yes. And I like us shifting above this down candle. What I need to see is a real displacement in price. So this to me, just trading above the swing high, that's not enough. Okay, I need to see a little bit more here. I'm not convinced. I am not convinced at all. Oh, also Cedar, I absolutely cannot. Going off the conversation we had, I absolutely cannot leave this out. Along with whatever you have to do to accommodate yourself and whatnot. The number one most important thing when it comes to price action is, literally what I'm doing within the mentorship tab. I'm laying out 3 specific models. Those are my models that I've been training for years now, right? You should do the same exact thing. You find a model that makes most sense to you. You see it repeat most times, and you just stick to that. One simple model. Just start out with that, and when you see it, you're gonna be, you're gonna go into the charts looking for the same exact thing every single day. And you can do that. We have the benefit of doing that because these markets absolutely repeat and they're controlled. So because of that, we're able to do stuff like that. So find something that repeats. Okay, how long is that gonna take? I'm not sure. It's different for everyone, but obviously, live streams like this will fast track that. But find something that repeats. Find one model that makes most sense to you, and stick to that. Look for that every single day, and filter out everything else. Okay, that will make you a lot more money than you can actually really imagine, to be honest. But where we stand right now. Back to the charts here. It's kind of the same scenario right here. Okay, I see the rally up. Okay, I'm initially thinking, okay, maybe this can, start the move up into the, opposing buy stops, right? But all we're doing is rallying up into the 5-minute Fairway gap and this old new week opening gap. So this very well could serve as continuation, right? So I wouldn't be trying to pick the bottom in this context once more. Same exact thing here. Okay, I need to see its willingness to get above and through opposing arrays, okay? So 2 classic examples right now taking place of when you should not look to try and pick bottoms. All right, is it possible? Absolutely, we do it a lot, but there's a lot of scenarios where you should not do that because you're going to get burned and it's just going to be frustrating for you. Okay, so just patiently waiting here, guys. Honestly, this looks like it's just going to dive below these 2 lows here. So considering what time it is, it's 10:30 a.m. right? Still a lot of room in terms of time. And I already told you guys, this is going to be a day we're going to keep it rolling longer. Obviously, Monday, I wasn't interested, but today, I'm staying in here for both sessions, okay? I'm not leaving and then, coming back. I missed out on a move. Now I have to come back. No, we're keeping it rolling, okay? Once it hits that lunch hour, we'll take a little intermittent term break and then, back to business. So very, very heavy here. You can see the first 2 hours of the day. I mean, all it's done is obviously very, very large candles. Very well could just dive into the slowdown here. So if that does so, it's likely I'm not going to be a part of it given the price action we're seeing. But once we do drop down below that low, we're going to look for very specific things to take place beyond this. And we'll look to try and capitalize on something. But the volatility is absolutely there. Okay, even though it's a falling knife at the moment, does not mean the day's done. You don't look at a drop down like this big. Oh, damn it, dude! Like, come on, like, look, what's going on the 5-minute chart? There's a clear, you're in hindsight, right? But there's a 5-minute Fairway gap right here, man. How did that? Like, come on, I should have been a part of that. The day's over. Never think like that. Okay, it's just stupid. Just stay into the charts. Be patient. Keep watching. Okay, there's going to be more opportunities, more times than that. Okay. But I mean, like, as for today, yes, like, we're in the New York session. That's what we trade. Okay, right at the opening. Only one potential opportunity took place right here, and really hasn't given anything since. Now, if you're just like really risky and you want to get in here, oh man, here's that 5-minute Fairway gap. Yep, I'm jumping on the train right there. With all the stuff hovering above, that's cool. You can take on that 50-50 risk, right? But I'm just simply not. I'm not going to partake in that. Okay, and I'm never going to advise you guys to do so while I'm streaming here. So, guys, I'm just sitting here waiting. I'm patiently waiting for a model to come to me. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But when it comes down to it, I haven't taken a singular trade this week yet. It's only 10:31 a.m. on a Tuesday. I very much so would like to get the things going for us and get some action going on here and take an entry, which I know it's just what all you guys want, but I just have to wait for it. But honestly, I think equal to taking an entry and obviously profiting for you guys, and you guys are able to engage with it too. Equally important, I believe, is kind of what I'm displaying to you guys right now. Like, not trying to pick bottoms, not trying to force it. I think this is equally important. How you conduct yourself as the market's dropping down this deep and creating these kind of fake rallies. Okay, I honestly think that's equally important because a lot of times when you're by yourself and you're not listening to this, a lot of times you'll burn yourself and lose more equity than you should on this type of price action, trying to, just that feeling of, damn, dude, I missed out. Like, I wish I was a part of this, right? And a lot of times that feeling leads to you not making money, basically the opposite of what you're trying to do, just because of what we're seeing here. So yeah, very, very close proximity to this low here. So I'm just gonna, it's a little bit too close to not expect it to just drop down there. So I'm gonna expect it to drop down there. Now, um, anyone could sit here and listen to me and say, oh, okay, well, I mean, obviously it's easy to say it's gonna drop down there now that we're close to it, right? That's just hindsight. But when it comes down to it, we are just pretty much just waiting for we were waiting for this type of thing to happen. Okay, we've been calling this out. Brian, myself, Ariel, whoever else was in the chat as well. Like, it's very easy to pick up on this, okay? It's particularly what we're seeing on the daily time frame. It's very familiar signatures on the daily time frame that allow us to anticipate this to take place. Now, the final piece of that puzzle is usually, do we have an opposing, obvious target to the downside? In this case, yes, we do. I mean, this is all just way too clean. And then we look down here. Okay, this will be the next target. So, especially when we go on to Wednesday, like, I'm not looking for some type of bullish reversal once, now that we're gonna take the lows down here. Okay, I'm looking right down here. This is what I want to see us absolutely spike down into. Okay, now, is there an off chance I could be wrong? I mean, there is, but I seriously do not think I'm wrong about this, and I'm certainly not going to force if it's not there. But I absolutely can't really see anything else other than this playing out. So, eyes on these lows here until we reach them. Are we gonna reach them today? That might be a little bit of a stretch, but definitely by the end of the week, I'd say we'll end up down here. Yes, sir. 762. That's why, like, I'm sure you've already heard me say this in streams. Like, this is all. It's always the same thing that I like. Since I started live streaming since 2 years ago, like, the number one thing that I see with, like, guys that they literally know the concepts. Okay, they're good. They know what they're doing. They know what they're looking for. They can't make money. They're not profitable because they simply, like, they get to the, they go over that first hurdle, right? They get over that, and that is making money. But they can never get past that second hurdle, which is actually keeping that money. Okay, so in my opinion, and I'm sure most of you agree, keeping the money is just as hard as making it, right? So that's why this industry is so hard, because you already have one obstacle to get through in and of itself, which is making money. And then you have that second obstacle once you make that money, okay? So most people cannot get past that second hurdle. You know, I'm not talking about gamblers, okay? I'm talking about those that know the concepts. It's the number one problem and issue I've seen with people that just can't get over that hump since I've been streaming for 2 years now. But I believe if you diligently watch the streams here, it's impossible for that not to be corrected, right? But anyway, guys, I'm really, really trying. I'm really trying to keep these streams longer, just so I'm not like closing out stream and then all of a sudden there was a setup right after stream and I'm taking it and you guys are frustrated because I didn't take it on stream. Look, I'm gonna keep these things as long as possible. I'm gonna stay through lunch macros and just basically cover AM and PM session. So every single day I'm gonna try my best to do that. Usually on Mondays I'm probably just gonna stream the AM session, but other than that we can pretty much just bet on me streaming both the AM and PM session back to back. Okay. But anyway, am I convinced by this yet? Not particularly. Okay, I like what I'm seeing initially. So, continuously taking sell side liquidity, we have a convincing drop down below the short-term low, creating a swing low, turning away. And on the 15-minute time frame, got very, very close to that low down there, right here. And as for the 1-minute chart, first and foremost, I'd like to see us have a very aggressive rally above this swing high. And as soon as we do that, now and immediately, my eyes are going to jump right up here. All right. And then let's take a look at NASDAQ. Same exact thing. Everything I just said on NASDAQ, transpose it here. Or ES, transpose it over here. So The Nasdaq was able to upset this very ugly trend line sensation going on here. Let me go to the hourly chart. Right, so we basically just matched this low down here. So whenever we're wicking off, okay, how deep are we gonna wick off? I'm not sure yet, but you guys already know the deal with this. This is just very obviously engineered, or engineering more south side liquidity, and it's just gonna drop down below this low, right? So we have this annotated. We understand that we're hovering above it, and we'd like to see it spike down into that. Going down to the 5-minute chart, okay, we understand that there's a good deal of buy stops trailed here, here, and up here, and then we have the time-based gap, right? So we definitely could see an intermittent term retracement offsetting this trend line sensation going on here, and then dive into the engineered stops here. So if that happens, we're probably going to be profiting on both sides of the range here, but if it doesn't, then we're just going to continue on the sidelines. So what are we thinking, guys? Is this the beginning of Model 3, or is it a fake rally again? Whatever the case is here, all I know is this is not going to be left intact the entire day. So if it performs an entry model up into this, then we're absolutely going to be a part of it, right? So I mean, literally, it just goes back to the basic question of who feels comfortable right now. Okay, who feels comfortable in their position, who's been making money, and who would be the next likely prey. Right now, it's a little bit 50-50 of a scenario here because number one, we didn't get the displacement to the upside that we wanted to serve as a catalyst to get up here, and number two, all we have is this little baby rally into this Fourier gap, okay, right here. And then we have this daily sell side liquidity hovering below. Okay, so this is that kind of 50-50 environment that you just kind of have to sit there. There's that gray area. You have to wait for it to become clear. Okay. And then same thing for ES. We have this hovering below. Didn't exactly get the displacement we wanted just yet. But if it, aggressively trades above this high here, then there we go. We have what we want. All right, so it looks promising initially. Let's see if this can really continue here. Okay. There's some potential here, guys. We're gonna see if we can capitalize on this. All right, I'm not forcing it. If it's not there, I need every single moving part needs to come together for me to take a trade. Okay, I'm never gonna sit here and be like, okay, I'm gonna try this. I wanna see if this works. Okay, if you ever hear me say those words, just understand, GK the trader is on a downward spiral. Okay, if you ever hear the words, I'll try this, or we'll see if this works out. Okay, just leave me gone, all right? Just if you ever hear those words from anyone else, right? Please tune them out immediately because they're just playing a guessing game and they don't actually know what they're looking for, okay? You need to hear them say, okay, there we go. This is all the moving parts that I see from my model. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to engage with this, okay? And I'm going to set this stop loss and this take profit, and this suits my risk management, okay? That's the type of stuff you need to be hearing every single time you see someone take a live trade, okay? So I'm seeing it drop down to these down candles. It doesn't look like the prettiest scenario in the world, right? But by definition, these should hold as support and send us higher. Okay, so see how we just we really did just match this high and then trade away. As soon as it reverts down to these down candles, I expect these to hold and then take us above the highs that they engineered in the first place. Okay, is this an entry model that we're familiar with? Okay, no. All right, I told you guys I'm looking for a repeating phenomenon. This is not something that I'm familiar with. Okay, so am I going to engage with it? Absolutely not. I said I need to see every single piece come together, and it's not coming together yet. Okay, I didn't get the displacement I wanted. I don't have that Fourier gap to engage with to be able to get covered above this buy side liquidity. So all the framework in here looks like model number 3. Okay, but the last piece of that puzzle is, okay, do we have that displacement with the entry model presented? Okay, that's it. Now, as I'm looking at NASDAQ here, I'm seeing this Fourier gap, but it doesn't look like it's not something that sticks out to me. Okay, I need to see a little bit more than this. So I want to see, number one, a swing low formed in this inversion gap here, okay? All right, so like I said, watch this inversion gap, and you want to see a swing low form inside of it. Now, why am I requiring so much out of price right now? Why am I just not buying in on that Fourier gap? I already told you guys, okay? I already told you this, and if you weren't listening, that's on you. But listen, We still have this low hovering below. Okay, this daily sell side, the quarterly low. We understand that this is looks like framework for Model 3. There's buy side. We have very obvious opposing targets. You know, the majority of people who have been making money in this session is to the upside. We have this daily low hovering above. So I need to see a swing low form within this inversion gap. So basically just this candle closing. All right, and we're forming a swing low. All right, and we closed above the bodies of the 2 down candles here. Now I need to see a real clear displacement. Now, like I said, we need to see a real clear displacement above the swing high here. So we saw the swing low, but now it's immediately reverting back down to that. That's not what I wanted to see. I want to see a swing low and then a straight above the 3rd candle in the swing low. But did we do that? No, we did not pierce above this candle. Not yet. Okay, and the only scenario ever have me require this much out of price to enter is when we're in this type of state where I explained to you we have the daily low hovering above, but we also have what looks like could be Model 3 up into trailed buy stops. Okay. So this wouldn't be an example of, oh, okay, well, we back tested this and this is a failed Model 3. It's not a failed Model 3 because obviously, you know, we don't have everything working together just yet. So let's see if we can get above that 3rd candle and the swing low here. Okay. Now what I'm showing you right here is like very, like this is like Larry Williams stuff. Okay, looking at the swing points and then looking for the 3rd candle and the swing point to be traded above. That's like a straight out of Larry Williams textbook. Okay, obviously it was taught down to me from ICT, and this type of stuff is way more precise on the daily and the hourly chart, but we can still look for this type of stuff on the minutes chart if the time aligns. Okay. Yeah, it's like I didn't want to have any like type of weird buzzword or uh try to come up with a name for my models because I didn't want to make it look like I was trying to uh act like I created the concepts. I didn't create the concepts, but I absolutely did create the models from my experience. So it's from what I learned, but also from the 5-year experience just coming together, and that's what really created these 3 models. Okay, so I'm just calling it Model 3. We're going to keep it basic. And that's coming out in, what do I have that tab called nowadays? That is coming out today, right? We're going to have multiple examples in GK's official private mentorship. So that will be posted after the stream here today. Model number 3. So that's going to be the final model that I post until further notice. But for now, those are the 3 models that we key in on every single stream. If it happens, guess what? We're going to be most likely be making money. And if it doesn't, we're just simply going to be on the sidelines. Okay. So we're all going to be looking for the same exact thing every single day. All right. And the benefit in that is it's going to be a lot easier. It's, I mean, really just going to make money making a lot easier. Okay. Rather than just playing guessing games in any price swing. Right. Now, we're able to pierce below the swing low here. Body still remaining within the fair value gap. So we'll see if we can get displacement off of that now. Now I'm kind of eyeing this 5-minute fair value gap, but it really does not have to do that. Okay. In all reality, I would start looking at this as a breaker, right? But like I said, we did not engage that that higher time frame sell side down here. So the fact that we failed to have a sustained displacement above this swing high here, I wouldn't engage with it, right? Because we have this hovering below, like I said. Okay, very, very simple stuff, guys. Now we're rallying down in this 5-minute fair value gap. Which is my favorite model? Honestly, I really don't know. They're all great. They all work just equally. Now, the one that has the highest strike rate, for me personally, and back testing too, I will say that's absolutely Model 2. But in terms of favorites, I really don't know. I don't know, okay? They're all great. So it's kind of leaving these highs intact here now. So now we're going to ask ourselves, are we going to see a sell-off? I mean, is it going to respect this 5-minute gap, or is it going to see a sell-off down here? I'm not trying to predict that right now, okay? We're within that gray area, moving sideways. And we have 2 different scenarios that can play out. If I can frame both sides of the marketplace, then what do you think I'm going to do? I'm just simply going to stay out for now, okay, until it becomes clear, okay? If it has to be a game of, okay, this could happen, or no, on the downside, this could also happen. If it's a fact of that, okay, I mean, that's literally just your clear indicator. Okay, you don't need any indicators plotted on the chart. That's your mental indicator. That's the only one you need to tell you to stay out. Okay, but if I can frame a long position right now and absolutely can't frame anything to the downside, then guess what? There's your indicator that you should be trading this thing. Okay. Now, if you can't frame any side of the marketplace, well then, I mean, you just need more experience and more study time, right? So, do that first before you try to start trading, obviously. Now, like I was saying, like these should have held. Like if it was really going to start this bullish buy program in the direction of these highs. First of all, these two down candles would be respected. Okay. And this here is a breakaway gap. We just traded down into that. So the fact that we're trading down into this gap here, that's a bearish signature in and of itself. I'm really liking how they left these highs behind, though. I'm liking how they just matched it once more and trading off, okay? Immediately, stops get trail below there, all right? Immediately. Yeah, Jacool, agreed. So, yeah, typically, if it doesn't happen 10:50 to 11:10, then a lot of times. So basically, what I'm saying is, like, if there was no corrective movement by the time we get to the lunch macro, it's very, very likely to get the ball rolling in that lunch macro. So, yeah. So honestly, yeah, I honestly can just see this thing just sharply dropping down into this daily sell side now with everything I'm seeing. So I don't see anything that suggests bullish continuation here quite yet. Now, are these highs way too clean up here? Yes, absolutely. But like I said, with this daily low hovering below, it's just hard for me to be very, very hard lined on something at the moment. Okay, we're kind of just in that gray area, and like I said, we just need to continue to wait. And it is actually 10:54 a.m. So if we don't see the move that we're looking for, obviously going against those who have been making money the entire session, then we'll probably see that take place in the lunch session. And if not the lunch session, well, then we're probably going to see it in the PM session, okay? Now, whenever we get, if it gets to a fact that we're at the PM session, okay, please note that we don't need the PM session to get the whole way up here. And in fact, a lot of times you don't want to see it retrace the whole way up here. So let's say that we drop down again. PM session, you don't want to see it ride the whole way up here, okay? You want to see it come up, take that first significant short-term high that was formed in the New York, take that as stops, and then continue lower, okay? That would just be like your classic PM session continuation on a bearish day. So I believe we're able to drop down below this rejection block. So this candle here drops down, short-term low taken, wicks the whole way back up. This here is a rejection block. We're able to come down and pierce that. So that technically would be a run on sell stops. Okay. One thing that I failed to note to you guys, but I want to show you now. Right here we have what is this weekly Fairway gap. Okay, we were able to drop down into that. And then I'm going to show you guys out on NASDAQ. Okay, not as pretty on NQ, but we still have it, okay? So daily low hovering here, we're about half of the weekly imbalance here. And then ES just kind of, 3 15-minute candles hanging at the high end of the weekly imbalance there. So notice we just rallied back up into this inversion gap, instantly traded away. Just patiently waiting here. So we're smack dab in the middle of the lunch macro. Or sorry, not the lunch macro. Getting ahead of myself here. Smack dab in the middle of the 10:50 to 11:10 macro. And pretty much just waiting for that, obviously injecting volatility here. So, like, I'm looking at this, and we understand we haven't taken any trades yet, and it's 10:57 a.m., right? Where in that macro, no trades have been taken yet. I look back on this, even in hindsight, I'm not looking at anything saying, ah, shit, man, come on, I should have been a part of that. Why did I hesitate on that live? I don't see any opportunity in here, at least on a, at least on, like even looking back in hindsight, looking at a real logical standpoint rather than a gambling mindset, I do not see any real opportunity. Okay, other than okay, I could have gotten there and that could have worked out, or this could have worked. No, when I'm looking at model 1, 2, and 3, I don't see any of that performing here. Now, the only slight opportunity that I can make a case for is right here. We roll up in the 5 minute for reg gap, and then you put your stop above the swing high, but it's 9:30 opening. You're opening yourself up to the risk of it, running up into the short term high and then going lower. Okay, so if you're willing to take the 50-50 risk for, obviously what would have been a great reward, you can go ahead and do that. But that's just simply not my style. Okay, that's all. Giasin, have your mind. Russia and U.S. inform Iran. Russia and the U.S. informed Iran they're ready to hit Israel next minutes, hours. Oh, wow. Well, I haven't seen anything about that yet. I've only been looking at the charts here today, but if that's true, that's some crazy stuff. Wow. Yeah, I was talking about it earlier on stream. Like, it's very, very sad what's going on around the world. A lot of, uh, obviously violence, and I just, we live on too perfect of a world for us to just destroy it over, stupid matters. But, um, I really can't say too much because at the end of the day, I'm only being fed what the media tells me. But, yeah. All right, so look how we just formed these. Okay, this up candle here. I'm not looking at this one. I'm looking at this one. Okay, this is the first one I was formed. I extend that out. I would anticipate this on an order flow basis to hold and then propel us down to the short-term low and the daily sell side liquidity here. So from here, what we do here is very, very important because we should see a sharper direction up off of it. This would be the terminus sell side liquidity within the range here. So our dealing range will be from this low that was created last week, or a couple weeks ago, sorry, to this high. Okay, this is the terminus for our internal range sell side liquidity. So once we spike that, that's very, very key, and we'll look to, be a little bit easier to form a reversal should the proper signatures perform. So same exact thing on ES here. So just kind of a tight consolidation here. I actually like this. I like to see this, because it's simply just accumulating, and then whatever the expansion is from there, it's kind of easy to pick up on. So we wait. It is 11:07 a.m. So we're pretty much just getting on the later portion of the macro, right? And not really much has happened other than a slow gradual drop down in proximity to this daily sell side liquidity here, right? So we're gonna stay throughout the 11 to 12 hour. We're gonna see what takes place once we are able to clear this low and see if something sets up by the next macro. So definitely some potential there. So ES and NASDAQ dropping down. There we go. There's that daily sell side liquidity ran. Okay. So that's beautiful. So now we look to see what we can do now that we're not only in the lower portion of the weekly frag gap, but also all internal range sell side liquidity has been cleared from the marketplace. Okay. So perfect. And then also I'm going to go ahead. So within this large weekly frag gap, I'm going to go ahead and map out this lower time frame 4-hour gap. Okay. And then as for ES, same exact thing. So, I mean, even though NASDAQ swept it, I still would prefer ES to do so as well. So just a little, about two and a half more handles, we can get down to that daily sell side liquidity, and both averages will complete the move, and then we can reasonably look to see what we can do with that. Okay. So notice how long we've been just watching this dropping knife just absolutely slam down. And, we take it as it is and not try to catch that bottom. And there was at least 2 scenarios where, like, it initially looked like, it would have been some type of retracement. And I'm sure guys got burned on that, okay? So just about 2 more handles. Like I said, we're going to pierce below that sell side liquidity. And that, to me, would give me a lot more confidence to try and capitalize on the idea we were initially looking at. Okay, I'm not going to mark it out on the chart, but one more thing to note. If you go to the 15-minute chart, okay, it's not pretty, but you'll see we have a breaker right here. Okay, so low, high, run on stops. This up close candle here, extend it out. So looking at the like a 15-minute chart, right? Notice that in this entire range, we have now just formed right at 10:30, the very first up close candle in this entire session. Okay, so in this entire drop down, that just gives you a more clarity as to how aggressive this thing really was to the downside. And as I was mentioning for ES, as we're approaching upon daily sell side here, as I was mentioning, right, from 9:30 opening, dropping down. I mean, let's see here, 465. So yeah, over 70 handles of a drop down on ES, and that is a lot, especially for ES. And then you attribute that to NASDAQ. Okay, here's the high, 268. Okay, over 300 handles for the NASDAQ. All right, guys, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to let it slam below the daily sell side here. So let me take this Tange theory off. Okay, there's that black line there. That's that daily sell side. So I'm going to let it drop down there. It's going to take at least 5 to 10 minutes to set itself from there, and then we're going to look to engage up here. So with that idea there, we're going to let the market do its thing for the next 5 to 10 minutes, and I'm going to take a short 5-minute break just to drink some water and whatnot. So I'll see you guys in about 5 minutes. All right, everyone, we're back, and let's see what we're working with here. Oh man, did we not get below that sell side? Okay, looks like we just got a couple ticks below it. So we were able to pierce that daily sell side liquidity on both averages now. Okay, so we got below all internal stops. This entire trend line sensation going on here, right? Going back to NASDAQ, obviously a bit more extended through that. We're approaching on the very low end of the weekly for Vega gap there. So I want to see if this thing can get really aggressive. Okay, and just face through, absolutely, just straight through this 1-minute gap here. I want to see if it can get just spike right through that. That's what I'd like to see, okay? Because if it just trades up in this gap, instantly wicks away, okay, I'm just going to expect it to dump into new lows and get deeper into the weekly for A gap. But as it stands now, I'd like to see it really just spike straight through this. And obviously eyes immediately are jumping up here, all right? All right, so I mean, this is basically exactly what I was talking about right here. Like, I don't want to see it get it right up to the Fibonacci gap and then trade away and like hesitate. I want to see it get straight through that thing, all right? And until it does that, I'm not gonna try and jump on anything, all right? And then as for NASDAQ, I mean, same exact thing. We're a bit lower than ES. We're showing relative strength on ES. I'll expect it to spike straight through this gap here, okay? And we're gonna find out if we get that. And what time is it? It's 11:22 a.m. Perfect. Perfect. So, ES over here. I like how it's immediately getting back into the gap and not having this be a bearish candle. So, now we're going to see, can it just get straight above it, okay? With a sustained, obvious displacement. And like I said, ES is absolutely showing relative strength to NASDAQ right now. And like, honestly, if I do long here, guys, Like I don't even need to get the Hoy up here. Okay, I would just simply on a near-term basis would like to get up to these highs right here. So I put the let's see what I can do. Put this eyeball up here. There we go. And then this buy side liquidity pool here just so happens to align right with the high of this old new week opening gap. So I need a little bit more out of the NASDAQ here, guys. All it's doing is wicking right back up into the very low of this 5-minute Fairway gap. So see how the bodies are kind of cleanly respecting the upper end of this Fairway gap right now? Okay, I want to see that be upset rather quickly. If, we're going to be correct in what we're looking at right now. So we have ES rallying up into this 5-minute Fairway gap. Like I said, this can just serve as a catalyst as continuation. So I absolutely need very specific stuff to take place that suggest bullish signatures, okay? As we're rising up into that 5-minute Fairway gap. And honestly, the only bullish signature that I'm looking at and considering seriously right now is the fact that NASDAQ is the Hoy down here. And we have ES showing that relative strength, okay? So I'd pretty much just like to see ES catch up, or the NASDAQ catch up. Now we're going to see, can NASDAQ get above these 2 down candles with speed, okay? That's what we keep asking at a price right now. We just can't seem to get that volatility, but I believe it's coming soon, guys. I believe so. And it's 11:26 a.m. So I like the fact that we already breached half of this wick here that wicked away from this 5-minute Fairway gap. So that to me is another just small, subtle bullish signature. Very, very premature, okay? So I want to see, I keep mixing up the averages here. I want to see NASDAQ catch up with ES. ES is the leader. Not that we had like a crazy run up on ES, right? But where it stands now, it's the leader, and NASDAQ is kind of hanging behind. So I'd like to see it really just continue and get to this Fairway gap, like I mentioned. So still not really a promising displacement because all we did was run up and bump a short-term high and trade into a Fairway gap. Okay, so this very well could just be used to send it lower. So just a couple, like just a one more subtle thing that I need to see at a price here, and I can enter in long. So I already like how we're getting to the upper portion of this 5-minute gap, given the low we have here. From this low, that'd be a balanced range. So I like the aggression, and I like that we're trading to the high end now. There we go. That is the bullish signature that I was looking for. Perfect. Now the question is, does it offer an entry point? Well, we're just gonna have to wait for that. Okay, this is the final piece of the puzzle. I was able to get everything that I wanted at a price. Now it just comes down to, do we get a short-term retracement into a Fairway gap, and can I buy that and utilize this as model number 3? Okay. And by the way, for model number 3, it doesn't have to be any specific PD rig, or it doesn't have to be like just a Fairway gap. Okay, it could be a Fairway gap, it could be a order block, it could be a breaker, a rejection block. Okay, but more times than not, your highest probability one's going to come from a Fairway gap in order block. So just focusing on Fairway gaps and order blocks. You really don't need anything else when we're engaging with these models. All right, so really get that displacement we want here. NASDAQ is catching up. Now it just comes down to, does it give us that short-term retracement in price? And honestly, with this context here, and given how I'm kind of approaching this account that I have loaded up here, I'll be probably just taking some micros on this. So I'll be trading the NASDAQ micro. Even if I didn't want to trade the NASDAQ micros, let's say I wanted to trade ES a full contract like I did the other week with you guys, I would still be wanting to trade the NASDAQ just because it's lagging behind here. Okay. All right, so dropping down to this 1-minute Fairway gap here, and let's see if we can get that sustained drop down on NASDAQ micros, and then I'd buy it and take profit will be set right up here. All right. All right. Not gonna get the best buy in the world, but I'll take it as it is. Okay, it's moving very strongly out of the gap here. And there we go. Okay, I'm going to buy that. And stop loss going down below here. And we're going to go ahead and put the take profit up here. Okay, very, very simple. I'm taking the micros because it's a very sharp drop down. It's 11:30 a.m. Okay, so considering what time it is relative to how sharp we drop down, I'm going to be buying it here. Stop loss is going to be very reasonable. And then, like I said, take profit goes up here. Okay, very simple. So NASDAQ, ES still showing that relative strength as of right now. We just literally just closed right above this opposing 5-minute gap, which is exactly what we wanted to see out of price. Okay. And then please note that the stop loss is very specifically placed below this inversion gap here. Okay, so price will not trade below that if it's going to engage the buy side liquidity, which I very much so believe it will. So I'm going to go ahead and map out this weekly for value gap again. So I pretty much got everything I wanted here. I just have to, I can't really push significant leverage on this, like I said, just given what time it is. So like if it, let's say it was a 10:50 to 11:10 macro. Okay, there we go. There, I'm gonna we're gonna be pushing some real heavy shit there. But when it comes down to it, I mean, even regardless of what it is, okay, you really only need, like, you literally only need to trade micros, especially if you're doing prop firms. Okay, if you know what you're doing and you have consistency, and you're trading the micros, you can literally make thousands and tens and thousands of dollars. You just have to, submit to the process and time that it takes. So we should see a large expansion to the upside now. We shouldn't really see it hang around anymore. So this drop down simply just tapping back into the very high down here, and then I'd like to see it really just surge higher, okay, and engage the buy stops. So I'm gonna keep my stop where it is now because I'm understanding there's always a chance that I can weather some type of retracement, okay. But the fact of the matter is, I cannot adjust my stop loss until we reach the short-term highs up here. So once we reach the short-term highs, there we go. Stop loss is going right to break even, okay? So the minute we were able to touch these short-term highs, there you go. Stop loss at break even, and we let the rest, obviously run. And ES is getting very, very close to the buy side liquidity here. Now, I told you guys I'm trading the NASDAQ because ES does not offer the same amount of profit potential as ES does, because look how it trades under the gap, and it's already very, very close to the high. So this is why you'd see me be trading the NASDAQ, given we're giving it like some type of six sister approach, right? And actually, I changed my mind. I'm actually going to trail my stop up. Okay, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm trailing my stop up because if it trades down, I'm not confident in it anyway. Given what time it is, it really should just expand to the upside and not see a retracement down. And we have sell side of the curve delivered, and now it should be buy side of the curve delivered and complete the move into the buy side liquidity, okay? So risk is very, very minimal. ES is very, very close to engaging the buy stops, and we're using NASDAQ as a six sister approach, okay? And understanding that there should be speed at this moment. There shouldn't be any more retracements at this point. Jacole, you're trading Dow? I'm praying for you, man. I'm praying for you. Actually, I know guys that properly trade Dow, but it's not many, okay? And that's a tough one to beat there, okay? Oh, okay, you're just referencing it. All right. Fair enough. All right, it's about $100 in profit here. I mean, you can look at that and understand that's not too significant, but um, obviously the risk to reward is very much so favorable. I don't like this slow movement here, especially how close we are to the highs here on ES. Okay, it shouldn't really stall here. Okay, the volatility should absolutely surge to the upside. Yeah, Dow is the wild wild west. That is for sure. So yeah. And ES should have taken the buy side, not quite. So as soon as ES takes buy side, and as soon as we take the short term highs here on Nasdaq, I'm closing the trade, or I'm not closing the trade. Sorry, I'm putting stop loss to break even. So these highs right here, that triggers stop to break even. So ES should just complete the move here and spike above. Okay. Come on, Nasdaq. Come on. Given how close to the highs ES is, okay, seeing a retracement, that would just be a red flag, and it'd probably utilize these highs later on. So I'm just referencing time of day relative to what we're seeing in price action. So we're aligning time and price to be able to anticipate, should there be a retracement in price or should there not be. In this case, absolutely not. There should not be a retracement down here. Okay. You always, like I'm telling you guys, I know some guys, they only look at the Nasdaq every single day. They only look at it. But I'm telling you, it's always beneficial to reference both of them at the same time. So stop loss trail to break even. Okay. And I'm anticipating these highs to be ran. And ES is getting very, very close here. So we're about 2 handles away. Okay. So $100 away from engaging the buy side liquidity here. Okay, ES looks like it's going to complete the move there. We'll see. And come on. So basically, if you traded ES, you'd be getting TP'd right here. And it really would have, I mean, it would have offered, it doesn't look like much because the volatility index is up, but that would have offered actually just about 13 handles. So that's actually pretty respectable. All right, so I'm sorry, Nasdaq engaged that high, so stop loss absolutely goes to break even here. Okay, the market has been flooded with orders on ES. All right, and that's whenever I cut cost. Right there. So buy side was engaged. So remember, we used the Nasdaq as a six sister approach. It offered more running time than ES did. Okay, so ES was able to tag the buy side. Now what I'm going to do is put stop loss to break even because I understand that's when markets are flooded with orders, and it very well could spike down. It has not done yet though, so that there is a green flag. Okay, and be that lead. Beautiful execution, brother. Wow, that's great. Looks like you're using the micros as well, so nice. I don't know what that red and green waves you got going on in your chart, but everything else, I like what I'm seeing. That's beautiful. And I like where the stop loss is placed. And honestly, I would trail it up even further. Beautiful, beautiful. Who said that earlier? Yes, Jacole. Beautiful. You called out that linen clothes correction. Beautiful. All credit goes to Jacole today, guys, not me. Jacole, post your PayPal username in the comments. Everyone send Jacole a portion of your profits. So I'm really have to keep watching what ES does here because I don't want to see a certain thing take place above the high, which so far it looks good. So good, good. And if I can toggle my stop, there we go. Okay, stop loss gets trailed above, so the costs are now cut. So that means commission costs are cut, and we let this thing ride into the buy side. Yeah, like be that Lee. Even, given how low your entry was, the Hoy down here. Okay, your stop should definitely be getting trailed up. No, not like the Hoy up here. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. At least up here. Come on, Nasdaq, complete the move. Take us home. Complete the home run. You don't shit fire, guys. You won't burn your ass. You're able to pick the right bottom, and this is what you get. Okay, instead of impulsively trying to catch every single bottom, right? Come on, Nasdaq. You're almost there, man. Come on. Why are you getting discouraged now and dropping down? Come on. Be that Lee, $825. Beautiful. Great work. Great work. Oops. So honestly, I can say I'm used to this by now. Whenever I'm streaming, a lot of times likes to stall right below TP and then, you know, complete it. But mental fortitude allows me to still hold. And kind of I'm like eyeing up this 1 minute gap here. So depending on what we do with this gap, okay, so let's say that we are strong to this for very, okay, I'm closing the trade. All right, very, very simple. But this to me is normal. All right, we just need to see a sharper direction away from it. All right, guys, I'm closing the trade. I'm taking my $220. That's it. Okay. ES has already taken the buy side liquidity. We took the first short term high. That's all I need. Okay. That's all I wanted out of the day. And that's it. Okay.